Yeah, I think it's hugely important. I think for me, the most impressive thing from this week was for a large proportion of it, we were behind the game and we were chasing the game, but for us to stick in first thing is to hold the game for as long as we did and make it very difficult for them to get away from us was very impressive. And for a Seamers to be as effective as they were on that wicket shows the improvement of taking wickets abroad, something that we've struggled with in the past. And then more than anything, the way that we've dealt with pressure today, both in the field and with the bat. You know, in the field to have that expectation for our spinners to go and win us the game, get us, restrict them to a total that we could chase down. For guys with very little cricket behind them to take that on themselves and to do it was a brilliant effort. And then for our batters to stay as calm and poised as they did was really something. That partnership towards the end there was really impressive. It's probably one of the hardest things to manage in this part of the world. And that old adage of first for show, second for dough, I think it really came through those two guys. Seeing us home was very impressive partnership. I think more than anything, we had a lot of things out of our favour, if you like. We lost the toss in both games, and we managed to find a way in very difficult conditions, with very little lead up to the series as well. So for us to, in the past, I think we've been guilty of being slow starters, whether it be at home or away. So for us to start as well as that was really pleasing, but also to keep growing as a team and improving throughout the two games was, I think, quite impressive. We know we've got so far to go still to get where we want to. We've got a lot of young players as well that are learning all the time, that have been exposed to these conditions for the first time at this level. And I think we've just got to keep looking to build, keep looking to improve, take as much experience from this series as we can, and keep looking to get better all the time. And that's all you can ask of a group of players that are in a position they've never been before. You do need your senior players to stand up and take ownership, and we've had some guys do that in these two games, but we're going to need everyone to keep looking to improve. We're going to have different challenges, different surfaces, different situations to manage well in India. So it's about reacting to that and, again, having that same attitude, that same character and desire to go on and win like we have here. Yeah, I think when it always is easier when you're winning. And the one thing that we've got is as a group of players that care about each other and will constantly look after one another. There's a very good environment that we have within the dressing room across all three teams. But as I say, when you're winning, it does make it that little bit easier. We're going to have it's going to be a challenge. The next period, the next tour will be different, and the longer we have away from home, the more challenging it will get, and the more important it will be to check in with one another, make sure everyone's travelling well. But all we can do is make sure we manage that the best that we can, and it's individuals' responsibilities to take ownership of that and be honest about that, but also for each other to ask questions, to look after one another, and to make sure that we are looking after each and every player in or out of the squad. Yeah, it's progress. It's definitely progress. As I mentioned before this game, we have in the past struggled in away conditions. So for us to be able to turn that around, find ways of consistently taking 20 wickets is really impressive. It shows the skill levels of our bowlers, and the plans that we're putting in place are working. And we've got to keep continuing to strive to do that. And similarly, we're now more consistently banging out the template that we talk about all the time. And the more consistent we can get with that, the more success we'll have. It's pretty simple in many respects, but guys know we're very aware there's so much further this group can go, and we've just got to stay hungry. We've got to keep looking to get better. Yeah, it's nice to see their hard work paying off. They're doing all the right things in practice. We're having very good conversations about how to play in these conditions, both with bat and ball. And I thought they executed it really well today. Even through that partnership towards the end of their innings, we didn't really panic. I think in the past, probably been guilty of that. So, really impressed with the way they've gone about things, and it's a really good sign that, of course, more than anything, they in themselves they know that they want to keep getting better, and there's further that they can go, and there's more that they can do, and that in itself is really exciting to see them have success and know that they want to keep improving. It's going to be strange. I think we've also got to be quite realistic. We're going to have 7 or 8 days now with no cricket at all, 6 days in quarantine, and then 3 very important days of prep ahead of the series. But one thing we have got is a huge amount of confidence coming out of these 2 games, and we've sort of had to manage different situations. So all of that will stand us in really good stead. And I think it's really important that, like going into this series, we're very smart about what it is we take into the games, and hopefully we can manage that well and get off to a good start. I think as any captain around the world tell you, you want your best players available, fit, firing at the top of the game all of the time. And I think the other thing to mention is I think Joss has kept extremely well in these conditions. I thought he was outstanding, flawless throughout the 2 games. So huge credit for that too, as alongside his runs and the way he dealt with the pressure today. But as mentioned, you always want all your best players there as often as possible. Unfortunately, because of the world we're in right now, it's not feasible, and we have to manage that as best we can. But he's still got an opportunity to affect the series, and I'm sure he'll be desperate to carry on the good form.